Who does that? Me? Her scrambling up some eggs. That number.
Second child, take 2.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. A few months back, we were having a conversation, and you mentioned that another father asked his son what was their most memorable moment. And you asked me the same question in turn. And I told you I didn't want to answer it on the spot. I wanted to make sure it was significant. But I'll do you one better. I have a few people to help answer the question with me.
Candace, you want to sing a song? How about the ABCs?
The most memorable moment that I have of my father, because there's clearly a plethora. I think people would assume it would be something around his jovial spirit, around his candy giving abilities, or as you got older, money. But my most memorable moment, hands down, is any interaction that I've had with him where he was able to just bring a type of calming and peace to my soul that no one else to this day still can do. My dad is able to speak to me in terms that in the crisis of my mind I understand. He's able to make me feel loved, understood, completely cared for with just such minimalness, period. Even that was just so huge to me, that you could see me as dramatic and as irrational and as fearful as I was and just be able to deliver such peace to me. And I think you still are one of the only people that I can kind of count on to do that.
I thank God for allowing me to marry a guy who is passionate, humorous, and loves his children and would do anything for them, no matter what. My most memorable example of that is when the children were very young. Andrew was about 3 or 4, Candace 6 or 7, and my husband had been struggling with smoking for several years. Andrew came in and was pretending to be smoking, and he said that this really shook him so much that he quit right on the spot. And it just shows the sacrifice that he was able to make for his family, to set a godly example for his son at that time. And he continues to do that today. No, we're not perfect, but we are becoming what God intends in our lives, what He's dreamed up for us. And my husband's dedication and sacrifices really speak to that. And I thank God that He allowed me to be married to this humorous, passionate individual. Look at me. Gray.
I like Papa. I do.
Like candy?
Yeah, there's a smile.
Here.
Growing up, I always wanted to be like my dad. Naturally, you used to say that you did well in school, so I wanted to achieve academically. You would say that you were a strategic thinker, so I wanted to build muscles on critical thinking and strategy. And you were also a college football player, so naturally, I wanted to play football. In each sport I played, you were my coach. You know, whether it was football, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, gymnastics, I think I even did for a couple years. The fondest memory I have of you isn't necessarily from the sports themselves, or graduation, or a sports championship. It was the time we'd spend in between. after work and after school for me, and we would hop in the car and we'd drive to practice. And that was always a time where you would just teach me, whatever it was, whether it was a message you want to impart, and something you've learned, or something that you saw was an opportunity for me to grow on. And after that, we'd always listen to music.
What did you guys listen to?
Whew. I mean, everything, you name it. Carlos Santana, Earth, Wind and Fire, Prince, Parliament, and I learned every song word for word. And it was something that you shared with me from your world, and it made me feel close to you and connected. I was at a work dinner with some colleagues, and a question came up. What was the first concert you ever went to? And I smiled, looked up and told them Parliament and the Ohio Players with my dad.